Today, we're going to dive into something that impacts almost every single pregnancy, but it's something we barely ever talk about. We're talking about how the tiny, everyday movements you're doing right now can have a massive impact on your body, not just during pregnancy, but long after your baby arrives.
I mean, that sounds a little crazy, doesn't it? But it's absolutely true. Everything from how you roll out of bed to the way you sit at your desk, these simple, automatic actions can either protect your body or, well, create some serious strain that can lead to complications down the road. So let's get into exactly how that happens.
Okay, so first things first, we've got to understand what's actually going on inside your body. The core of the issue, and I mean that literally, is the hidden strain that your core and your pelvic floor are under while you're pregnant.
I love this analogy. Before pregnancy, this elastic band is super tight, right? It acts like this amazing natural corset that holds everything in and keeps your core stable. But as your baby grows, that band has to stretch, and as it stretches out, it naturally loses some of its strength.
And here's the kicker. When that supportive band is already stretched out and a bit weaker, even really simple, mindless movements, like getting up off the couch, can put a ton of extra pressure on it, stretching it out even more than it needs to be.
And that extra pressure, it's not a small thing. It can actually contribute to some pretty major complications like abdominal separation or pelvic organ prolapse. These are issues that can really affect your quality of life for years to come. That's exactly why getting these small movements right is so important.
But here's the good news. You have so much power to minimize these risks, and we're going to learn how from a total expert. All the amazing advice in this explainer comes from physical therapist Meghan Stephenson, who specializes in this exact topic.
All right, let's jump into our practical guide and see how you can build these little changes into your daily routine. We're going to start with the very first thing you do every morning, getting out of bed.
So most of us get out of bed with this sort of crunching motion, right? We just sit straight up. But during pregnancy, that one move puts this direct, intense pressure right down the middle of your abdominal wall. It can actually make that separation of the muscles worse. The much safer way is called the log roll, and it's a technique that takes all that direct pressure right off your core.
And look how simple this is. You just roll to your side, swing your legs over the edge, and then, here's the key. You use your arms to push yourself up, not your abs. It is such a simple swap, but it has a huge benefit.
Next up, sitting. A lot of us fall into one of two traps here. There's the perch, where you're on the edge of your seat. It feels like it makes room for your belly, but it forces this really extreme curve in your lower back. Or you do the slump, where your pelvis just tilts backward, putting pressure on both your core and your back. Sound familiar?
So to fix it, just sit all the way back in your chair. If you need to, grab a towel, roll it up, and stick it behind your lower back for support. The main goal here is to feel your weight resting right on your sit bones. Those two bony points at the bottom of your pelvis. That's what keeps your pelvis in a happy, neutral, and supportive position.
And this whole idea of a neutral pelvis is just as important when you're standing up. It's a posture that can so easily get thrown off as your center of gravity shifts during pregnancy.
Here's a really quick exercise to find it. Stand with your feet right under your hips. Now, just gently rock your pelvis all the way forward and then all the way back. Feel those two extremes? Okay, your neutral position is right there in the middle. From there, just think about stacking your ribs over your hips. And that's it. That's your power stance.
All right, now let's tackle something we all do pretty much every day, lifting and carrying stuff. Whether it's groceries or, another child, the same exact principles of protecting your core are absolutely essential.
If you remember just one thing from this section, please make it this. Exhale when you exert. Think of it as your secret weapon. When you breathe out during the hardest part of a movement, like when you're lifting something, it naturally engages your deep core muscles. This helps manage all that internal pressure and protects that elastic band we've been talking about.
So when you go to lift something, get into a nice, stable split stance. Take a breath in as you go down, bending at your knees, not your back, and then, as you stand back up, exhale. You're literally using your breath to support the whole movement and letting your strong leg muscles do all the heavy lifting.
This is especially crucial if you're lifting a toddler. Use that same split stance, exhale as you lift technique. And when you carry them, really try to avoid propping them up on one hip. I know it's hard, but holding them more in the center distributes their weight evenly, which prevents all that one-sided strain on your abs. And what about pushing a pram or a stroller? If you lean forward and let it get way out ahead of you, you're putting all that strain right back on your core. The fix is so simple. Just adjust the handlebars so your elbows are at a 90-degree angle and then focus on stepping into the frame as you walk.
This shifts all the work to your legs and core right where it belongs.
So all of these daily modifications are fantastic for playing defense, but the absolute best way to protect your body is to proactively strengthen it. And that's where safe, targeted exercise comes in.
Regular pregnancy-safe exercise does so much more than just feel good. It's like training that elastic band to be strong and really resilient. Things like prenatal yoga, swimming, or guided strength training can specifically target your deep core and pelvic floor, and that actively prepares your body for childbirth. This not only helps with pain now, but it can dramatically improve your postpartum recovery. It's truly one of the most powerful tools you have. So as we wrap this up, I want you to think about this. It's not about doing everything perfectly overnight. It's about making small, conscious shifts. So whether it's the log roll or that exhale, or even just sitting all the way back in your chair, what's one little thing you can start doing today? Because believe me, these small moves really can have a huge impact.